Recording is on.
So, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Darshan Upadhyay, and today we'll be going through the accessibility improvements uh, on Collabora Online. So, first, let's talk about why. Like our goal is to make Collabora Online truly accessible for everyone. So, the main challenge is very clear, like the complex web applications, including ours, often create unintentional barriers. So, like we have seen some, in the front end part, there are non-semantic code. There was some poor keyboard navigations in our previous version, although it's much more improved now. But let's go through what we have fixed. So any of the new component or widget we will be adding in future, we will take care of accessibility criteria as well. So uh, this will create a significant gap between the desktop, what desktop offers, and what we want to improve for the browser version. So our main goal will be to specifically for the users relying on the keyboard navigations, uh, user with the screen readers, like the visual impairments, dyslexia users, and user with the cognitive disability. So our main outline will be to focus on this part as well, but it's not only for the user, like which are specially able. This is also improve the normal users user experience while we improve the for an example, the keyboard navigation. So yeah, we have identified the categories into this uh, uh, major four categories, like to really understand what we are improving based on the European standard, uh, for the accessibility part. At the Collabora Online, the overall conclusion, we were not in the compliance. So there are mainly four categories we will be focusing on. First one is the main fundamental markup and semantics. So we weren't always using the right HTML tags for the job. For an example, sometimes to describe the table structure or to display some HTML thing, there are instances where inside the table structure there will be some usage of span tag or division tag for the better user experience purposes, but that's not the good way of structuring the DOM tree. Next main part is the keyboard and focus management. We will be going through each and every topic in following slides. So yeah, let me go to the first topic, the semantic and structural markup. So the very foundation of our web application in the HTML markup itself, we found the issue where the essential elements were missing with the proper labels, or there are missing altered alt text. Uh, think about, for an example, an icon which is only a button. If it doesn't have the area label or any alt attribute, a screen reader just says the like button and leaving the user guessing its function. This is the very common for the icon or the color selector and even the edit buttons. And the other thing is the incorrect heading markup. So instead of semantically structuring the models with the header tags like h2 or h3, we use the span tag, and then targeting the class, giving the font sizes, which is not the best practice to do. If we are considering if we are considering the DOM to be more clean and precise for the uh, the assistive technologies. uh, and there is a big problem with the forums as well. In many places where the select element, for instance, weren't directly linked to their label, using any attributes. Instead, labels were often tied up to the parent division and confusing for the assistive technologies. So yeah, finally, we widespread misuse of HTML elements. This will include also the following example, which I was talking about, the table thing, where inside table there should be a table header, table body, but there, thanks to Shimon's patch, we have fixed that in our recent version, but in past it was quite cumbersome. Okay, so after the HTML structural fixes, we should also focus on the using the keyboard navigation and interaction issues. So even if we don't have access to the access of our mouse, each and every button and element on the screen should be focusable by the arrow keys or the tab keys. For the toolbars and drop downs, the expected arrow key navigation was often misusing. User had to rely on inconsistent tab key behavior, which making interaction very confusing for the user. By pressing the tab key, there is no particular way of direction to focus change from left to right, or from top to bottom. So crucially, many interactive controls were simply inaccessible by the keyboard. This also includes some important elements like scroll buttons when we resize the screen, or the color picker menu. There is also a one case in the color picker menu. Recently, Path was working on it with the icon views, where all the color codes were like a single image coming from the core side, which does not that much accessible for the users who have this visual disability, or the some people uh, who have some color blindness issue or something like that. So we should also take care of those type of problems. So tooltip usability was another area of improvements. There were cases where like whenever we hover on the icons, the tooltip were quickly disappeared, even if the mouse were hovered on that icon, and the escape key standard dismissal method didn't work at that stage. Yeah, so before I mean, we mainly have this four things in our application. It's more complex, but to be present in a more simplest way, I have divided into this four parts. So our main part is our the document area, the iframe, where all the content is where all the content is displayed. So it's an iframe and also rendered from the server side. So mostly we will not be that much concerned about that content. We will simply just need to enable the accessibility from the server side, and that should already start to work. But the main focus will be the toolbar and menus on the, like, the elements on the sidebar, or the notebook bar elements, or the JS dialog that opens on the screen. So each and every button should be accessible via keyboard, or on the hover it should read out loud what that element needs to be done, or what's the function of now that element. And there are many custom widget as well. So uh, yeah, for an example, color pickers, and recently there is we have added many changes on the calc as well, inside the page layout, and also on the presentation there are slideshow options as well, which are the custom widgets. So it's not directly rendered by the JSON coming from core, but it mostly been structured on the online side. So the CSS and the HTML part, all things were be written on the online side. Yeah, so this is the way I was talking about how we can enable that core side accessibility using the cool.wsd.xml. And uh, in this way, by enabling those changes, it will the user will start to hear the parts where whenever you use any of the screen reader, like for example Orca, or maybe if you are using Windows, there is this NVDA part. We will go through that later, but yeah, that's how we will enable the accessibility thing. Yeah, so this is the in Collabora Online, there is this help tab, and whenever you go to the enable the accessibility check, you can directly see on the right side there is this sidebar opens, which will suggest you which are the accessibility part are missing on the document itself. So there is this images where you can click on the button called fix, and it will easily open up the dialog, and you can add the alternate text for that image even if that not rendered on the screen. Yeah, and the other thing which is the screen reading part. So after enabling accessibility from the core side, we have this option enable screen reading, and after enabling that option, we can directly use the uh, screen reader tools, like the NVDA part, uh, which is mostly it is mostly the popular for the Windows version. uh, but yeah, there is a large set of users who are using NVIDIA, so it's very better practice if any of the component we develop, or anything on the UI we change, we if we want to test the accessibility part of that, we will go through this two platforms. First is the NVDA, and if you are on the Linux base distribution, then there is also option for the Orca. So whenever you are testing manually, like first go keyboard only. Can you reach and operate every interactive element? Uh, if no, then there should needs to be some reports, or there needs to be some fixes to be do. And if you are using testing with the screen reader, so carefully listen to that element, or any of the hovered element. Is it pronouncing not pronouncing, but it is saying the correct version of that element? uh, like, can you like just by hearing that thing, you can you have the idea what it should do, or something like that? Then and then we can be sure that yeah, this part is much more accessible compared to what we normal users see on the screen. And also every time it's yeah, I already started to do that work. It's the uh, 400% or 200% zoom. So zoom level should not break the things on the UI side. It should also the element should also be accessible even after the high zoom. Um, so yeah, this these are some of the data that I gathered around. So why I choose NVDA, because most of the like more than 50 to 55% of the market is been using covered from NVDA. So test with NVDA is more reliable for the complex application like ours. And yeah, this is just the browser comparison that the screen readers are mostly on the uh, Chrome and Microsoft Edge than Firefox, but I don't think so this is the accurate data. uh, uh, for normal user, it should be the same. So let's move on. Yeah, so this is the comparison that I did, like for the version 24 and 25. This is the improvement that we did over the last few months. by following the principles and following the structure that I will be going to talk about next, which is the same as the like the issues I had been talking. Uh, this is only for the one document. It can be differ from document to document itself. So yeah, so let's first go with the native HTML thing. Like, the fundamental principle is simple: prioritize the HTML element first, uh, because elements like button input or select come with built-in accessibility. They are automatically keyboard focusable. Screen reader will understand their default roles and state, so they are highly compatible across all the browsers. So there are some topics about like we should add area label to the button or something, but there is this thing about area, that first rule of area is to don't use area uh, if it's simply handled by the native HTML structure. We need to be use area because of the complex HTML thing, but try to be more precise on the native side. If it's not possible on that part, then we will be going to use the areas. So the advice will be to before for for a division with JavaScript on click handler, pause and ask if this is can be handled uh, simply with the HTML element, which is already provide the role of the button or the division. Then please go with that approach. Yeah, so this is the same thing which I have been talking about, using the headings with the hierarchical level. Don't use the span to display the any of the thing which is as same as the heading, or it describes the meaning of the stance element as a heading. So use the heading tag, which is the which which gives the this assistive technologies to a more hands on the DOM. So whenever the HTML DOM is being created, there is also this accessibility part combined with those. So if we are using this type of rules, like inside table there should be a table headers, table body, captions, it will be more easily been uh, uh, understood by the browsers, especially the browsers, and they will correctly throw some actions whenever we enable this accessibility parts. Okay, so yeah, next will be the keyboard navigation thing. So I will ask Henry, please, can you go through from keyboard accessibility here?
Yeah,
He
hi,
has,
hi.
yeah, thanks.
I'm Henry Castro, and then just gonna continue with the talk here. And like you said, when we want to implement this keyword navigation, we really need to focus on the default of the browser, how it's handling this, because this is important for these kind of people that cannot see the screen or some kind of disability. In this case, we usually just use the mouse to handle everything in my browser. But the browser has some default handling of these keywords. Like I say, the tab shift tab is a keyword default to move the focus. I mean the focus is you, the element receives uh, the attention of the browser to receive the keyword inputs. So every element in the HTML has this default behavior in the browser. The tab, the arrow keys the space bar, usually for radio buttons or checkbox. This is defining in the standard default. Other point is this element has a default behavior too. These elements like button, input, and text area are elements that require no explicit property, because by default the browser will receive, if the element is in the web page, the browser will follow a natural order and focus the next element with this defined. But there are other elements that they are not focused by default. You can see here the source code of the file. You can check some of the focus cycles we did to handle some situations, special cases. And there are custom widget we created in our user interface, and you can check this the grid and the list, which is not default but browser. So we need to force JavaScript key navigation like a row keys and selection of the elements. Next, please. And you see the source code. You can check the mostly in the example. I take to this one is duplicate, but yeah, the first one is you can check this div element, which is naturally is a container in a browser, but it was some kind of difficult to follow the fixes the focus cycles here, because this container by default is not focusable, but we are forcing to focus or disable the focus like this one, which is this at the beginning complicate reading the source code, and we had to try to avoid this thing. But later we probably will need to iterate more to fix this issue. But there's serious problems here. But if you are writing or adding some kind of element that is not focused, so please do not add these properties unless this is necessary or special case. And like the ones, the code on the above, you can check this. This is input element of spin field. Of course, this is a default focus element by browser, but explicitly we are using. You see the tab index. It is telling the browser that this is you're forcing to focus the element, but this is not necessary explicitly to add. So we will still need to iterate these components, because there are some cases that we are creating a custom widget that is not default or by default by the browser. So we should have to use this tab including adding level numbers to focus cycle between a group of elements. We will need to think about this when we are trying to fixing more of these same problems, because of sometimes the focus and browser jump to another place, and there's some really serious problems to debug these particular things. Okay, please the next one. You can see here there's some so and you want to read something about this keyboard navigation, like the code pointers that show you before. This is the row keys, for example, to handle a list or grid, if I don't remember well. This is small JavaScript handling. Next one, please. And this is the same thing, just to find a row keys selection, because this is a custom widget and not default by the browser. And the good point here is it's just I tried, as an example, tried to close my eyes and try to navigate on my col.la online, and I couldn't really. So the important thing for these people is just focus the focuses element, so the screen reading can read and give a song to these people and say, you are in a combo box with the title, something like that, read, and then just these people will know. You can see, in this kind of area attributes in the focus in this element will tell this kind of people to handle or interact with the user interface. And the same thing is with, if we can give a voice commands to the screen, and if they are not positioned very well in the focus, uh, we have some problem. In this case, when we try to give command to just write some kind of text, and for example, if by default our design in the initial and col.la online, the initial input text, we we hide this input text to capture the keyword. So giving voice command probably is an issue here. Uh, I don't know if this third-party software that do this conversion of text to translate the text, voice to text, will try to translate this keyword inputs, but then in our initial design, this main input file in col.la online, it's hidden, and so probably we will need to see this kind of problems next iteration, I guess. So this is my part. Well, thanks.
Thank you, Henry. So yeah, so mostly the keyboard navigation part is covered. Uh, just the let's me move on to the area label on. So like whenever we have this native HTML, isn't that enough? So there is this question. So sometimes we need to prepare some HTML structures or widgets. Yeah, and in our application, in most places it is like that. We need some custom widgets. We need to present the dialogue in some particular fashion. So in that manner, we can't really rely on the only the native HTML for the accessibility part. So at that point, to increase the accessibility of the application and also maintain the UI part, we need this area. So what is the area? It's the accessible reach internet applications, which is the W3 specification that gives an extra HTML attributes, like the roles or state of the element or the uh, property to add the meaning of that element. So we use it to fill the semantic gaps between the UI widget and when the standard HTML element just doesn't convey that information in a right way. Uh, yeah, so this is the normal example which I want to convey. Like here is the role. This tells I mean the role tells the assistive technologies what the custom UI element is. Is it a button? Is it a dialog? Or is it a toolbar? So whenever we use the div element or the span tag elements, uh, sometimes we need to use those division elements. But to describe that element as a button, we can assign that div to a role equals to a button. So that's where the whole convention will be going on to the DOM, and it will be considered as a button, even if the native says it's a division. Then we have this area label. Use this to provide a clear accessible name for the element, so especially for the icon. uh, for an instance, there is this icon called save document. uh, Whenever we save the document on Collabora Online, you can see on the top left side there is this spinner button is going on. Then there is this icon says saved. uh, but we also need some area label on that though. So after it says the saved, that becomes only the icon. There is no label associated with that icon any near about. So whenever user goes through that icon, it should like you can see and hover there is this tooltip says saved 5 minutes ago or 6 minutes ago. But what about the screen readers? So for the screen readers, there is this area label which helps them, and it will then pronounce that whole sentence for in their headphones. So yeah, there is this one application for area label to describe the function of the button. And yeah, then there is this area labeled by and area described by. These two are more for the complex labeling scenarios. So for an example, on the sidebar we have this font drop down button. There is no label associated with that font drop down button. So like it doesn't saying anything like this is the font changing selection button. So there is this no label and input element association between those elements. So for those cases we can use area labeled by or area described by properties, which will help to describe the whole functionality of that element, and also uh, what we need to accomplish on the UI side, that we don't want to associate any label or any visible label on the screen. That is also been fulfilled with that thing. So it is the win-win situation for UI side as well as the accessibility side. So yeah, area is I just want to add that it's a too powerful tool, but if we have misuse or use too many places, there will be consequences for that. So like we cannot use label input id connection and area label at the same time. It will be very confusing for the assertion assistive technologies, and it makes a user confuse the screen readers or the visually impaired user confuse if both the implementation done on the same element. We should either do this or that. If we make this thing complicate, then it will be much more cumbersome situation over there. So yeah, this these are some more area label sorry area attributes. The first is the area expanded, which tells that the element is collapsible or not. This will fix the issue like missing the state of our menu trigger. So whenever we in some places, if we don't be able to use select element tag, and instead we use the division element tag and display the list using the list tag or underlining tags. In those cases we can use the area expanded. Area has a pop-up. This is the very popular one for our JS dialog widget. uh, uh, you can see on the online side, whenever dialog gets open, it has this attribute. Then for the buttons like yeah, uh, if any button is not the native button HTML element tag, but it's the division element tag. So we can whenever to describe the state of that button, if it's is it the button pressed or not, we can use the area pressed attribute. There are many other attributes is there in this W3C guidelines. There is this full whole thing related to accessibility, how the application should follow the steps. Um, yeah, so that's the most of the part on the UI side. So our most of the accessibility work, if we consider the Collabora Online, it's on the JavaScript or on the HTML part. But there are some things we can also improve on the core side as well, like making the element or adding the accessibility properties in the .ui files. in the core side, and then we can grab those properties with the JSON. Like we are getting JSON from the code to online to display those dialogues, and we can also do the same for the accessibility part. We can get those text and directly display on the area labels or on the uh, on the sidebar buttons, which will make a more lesser work on the online side. But yeah, for the custom widgets and those things, we need to consider this all the points for the HTML structure to keyboard navigation, then this area label part. This is the I think this is the first part that we have improved, and we did consider in last months. We are still improving, so maybe on next uh, uh, session we can go through the other improvements we will do in the future. So yeah, okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, Anna is not here with us today, so I will go through one by one and ask for if there are any questions or anything want to share. Killen?
Yeah, just one thing I noticed was on GNOME desktop with Orca that it works very well in Firefox, and it doesn't work in Chrome. And looking it up, I think it's just that Chrome doesn't work with accessibility for anybody on GNOME. So if you're using Linux, then the screen reader is good in Firefox. So that's what I use when I needed to check something. And then the other thing I was wondering is, um, what do you use to find accessibility problems in the browser? I think I was able to find some things with Chrome's kind of accessibility checker, but is there anything else people use?
Uh, not particularly, but I usually do this comparison. Like in the starting, when I got the task on this, I used to go with the Orca, but it's not that much reliable in my opinion. So I mostly use the NVDA. Like I had this set up for the virtual machine Windows, and then open the document and test on that part, which gives me more of a nice idea on which of the screen reading parts were missing on the accessibility things. But yeah, I usually go through the some of the things that I have in my checklist. Like for an example, there is this area label and label and input ID conflict case. So each and every time if I go through any element, and that there should not be any conflict on that element will be there. If it's there, then it sounds very different if I test with the NVDA. With Orca, it also sounds different, and I agree with the point that you are saying about Chrome is Orca is not working with the Chrome. It's very really bad. So I don't test on mostly on Chrome. I go to either Firefox or Orca, and then NVDA on the Windows.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense. Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Helen. Uh, okay, Sahil.
No questions, thank you.
Okay, I think I have a question in chat. Using assessor with the browser A11 tree might also be useful for.
It was more like adding to your answer to Kalen that maybe that's also useful to like usually use Access ISO to inspect accessibility issues on Linux. And it should be showing things that are a part of the browser accessibility tree as well. So if Collabora Online exposes things, that might also be useful to analyze some issues, possibly. Just an idea. I haven't tried it yet.
Okay. Good one. I mean, I will try. I haven't tried it, but I will make a note on that. Thanks. Um, Miklos?
One question I would have is you were showing some screenshots on what was some kind of percentage state before and after the work that you were doing there, which sounded very
Yeah.
encouraging, increasing percentage of some validation and so on. What was the tool there? Was that a result of manual testing, or is there some tool that which quickly gives you some kind of metric on how good or bad you are?
Okay. So yeah, this is the test I did on the browser with the uh, light. Yeah, there is this lighthouse report on the browser with a complex document. So I did compare that same document for the 2404 and then 2504. This is the report which is on the browser, but yeah, there are some other things we can also test. There is some organizations who are doing this test for different complex application, which are paid. We have some reports on the writer and impress, but I don't know, I can talk about that or not.
Yeah, so this lighthouse is something that's a tool that you can use and measure your score before and after your changes, and at least prevents you from some large regression, right?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
definitely.
Thanks. That was
Uh,
kind of my question. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. No questions. Ash, no questions. Atilya,
Thank you. No questions.
Balaj,
No, no question. Thank you.
Banobe, Banobe, can you hear me? Any questions?
Oh, no. Thank you, Darshan. No questions.
Okay. Uh, Elliot, thank you. Gokai, Jaume, Jaume. Okay, no questions. Thanks. Mohit, uh, I guess MST is Michael or Steve. I don't remember the name, but yeah, thanks. Neil, Parth,
No questions. Thanks.
Rashesh, Richard,
Hi, thanks a lot, Dash.
Saper, Stephen, Timur, Vivek.
No question.
Yes.
Thanks.
Okay,
I have a comment.
sure,
When you
sure, Timur.
mentioned
Go on.
NVDA, I think it works with Wine and it's pretty convenient. Like there is no need to install anything outside. Like
Yeah,
it's
it's
much
yeah.
good.
I agree on that. Uh I have this I will share with you all guys on the metrics. I have this article on the forum that I posted, how to set up the NVDA with the virtual machine. It's very basic steps to do, and then easily we can test the document accessibility part. Thanks Timur for the comment. Yeah.
And there is something else, like Henry mentioned that in his presentation. Like how I understood the whole accessibility from before, it was when we are looking at, I think there was a blog post or something what accessibility is. And I think that reading that, I understood was for, let's say, reading the content. What is the commands, what is the text, and so on. And now Henry added this totally, let's say, other level of extending that to the voice command, like go left, go right, and so on. So this is like, oh, this by itself seems rather complex, but that voice command would be really useful totally. Maybe just small comment on that.
Yeah, I guess recently Parth and Henry has this the issue with this rec command thing where the bold is not working and other options are working with the thing. Henry, can you tell me which platform you are testing that thing using the voice command?
Yeah, I tried some kind of Linux, but it's difficult. Just trying to investigate how to do that. But according to the demos, so in YouTube and some other demos of speech dispatchers, just give my initial thoughts. I didn't really test it at all, but I'm investigating how to enable this in Linux. That's it.
Ah, okay, cool. So, guys, anyone have any questions? Anything to add on?
Well, I got cold today.
Okay, yeah, go on. I mean, you need to drink turmeric water. That's the advice I can give.
Yes,
Do
the whole family is at it, so yeah, they are suggesting different things.
okay. So I think we are all set. See you next Friday. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.